Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we're going to be discussing division rivals. It is very, very sweaty this year. At the start of this year, for the first time, they kind of skipped the placement games, but put your rankings based on where you were last year's game. I was in Elite Division on last year's game for most of the year until the end of the game where I didn't really play rivals. It relegated me. But because I was Elite Division, it started me in Division 5. Very sweaty. I've been playing a lot of different modes on the game this year. I've been playing quite a bit of Rush. I've done the full Rush objectives every week. I've been playing some clubs. I've been playing some draft. I've done squad battles every week. But I've played, out of any mode, the most rivals. I'm currently like halfway to Division 1. Yeah, you can see like I'm pretty much in the middle. I'm at the point now where there's no checkpoints. I've nearly got my points already for this week. Getting 45 points, that is a big thing. So this video here is really going to teach you how to get better at rivals, how to go about it, and just in general how I think you can move up the divisions and get the better rewards. Like if we look at the rewards now, yes, I think 45 points is probably a bit excessive, but the rewards now are a lot better than they used to be. So like this is we'll look at Div 2 rewards of 45 points. If you get absolute worst case, we're gonna say 286s. I don't think you're really gonna get much worse than that. 286 at this point are worth what, 15k at a minimum. Two mega packs are probably going to be worth 15k at least each. So you already made 30k. This one here, you're making an absolute worst 15 to 20k. We'll call it 20k in pretty much just in terms of discards. So we're already at 50k, and these are like pretty much worst case scenarios. Are you sick to death of getting out teamed on FC24? Won that God Squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out iggm.com today, the best and most reliable place to get coins for your ultimate team. Use the link in the description and code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out iggm.com today. You're getting 40 rare players untradeable. You're probably going to get something in that. You're getting a card that's worth minimum 10k towards SPC. So you've got 50k already. How many coins is that? Can't see because my webcam. Let's look. 50k. So you've already made from rivals in Division 2 100k at worst. Plus you've got some good untradeable cards, hopefully. And that's a worst case. Before in rivals, I can't even remember what you'd have got in Div 2, but you wasn't making that in the Elite Division. As somebody who plays the game quite a lot, I personally do prefer having to play more to get more points. Let's actually just have a look at what it is for 15 points. How many coins is it? 15k. Honestly, this probably isn't massively dissimilar to what you probably used to get in Div 2 anyway, for getting 7 wins, was it? So I think the rewards, whilst they're a lot better, I do think it is a bit of a stretch. I think it's a bit too much time that people have to play. I think 35 points would be more reasonable. You could get that with like 10 wins, 5 draws. Because I think it's 15 wins right now. You might be getting it with like 12 wins and 9 draws, or 13 wins, 6 draws, or something. It's going to take people 4 or 5 games a day, pretty much. The average player is going to take 25 games, maybe, to get this if they're winning about half the games and drawing some. So 25 games, that's like 3 or 4 games a day. It's not 4 games a day. That's pretty crazy. I think that's too much of a stretch. But when it comes to rivals, here we're going to go through some tips that are going to help you. So I would be making sure you spread your games out. If you just try and burn yourself out going for it all in 1 or 2 nights, you're going to start to struggle. Yes, getting the points is one aim, but actually moving up the division so you start to get to the better stuff is important. The checkpoints that exist up until Div 2 are really useful. One of the things that I'm going to say as an instant start, obviously having a good team and tactics is important. We'll cover that. Having good subs. On this year's game, subs are going to be important, especially in champs, but in rivals, late on in games with a lot of the new player roles, and especially at the start of the year when players don't have really high stamina and there's not a lot of relentless players. Subs can make a big difference. I pack this Chiesa, I really like him, and he's worth a lot, but he's untradeable. He's going to be a great sub though. Having these subs is going to make a huge difference and really going to allow you to make the most of your team, to be honest. I think that is a big deal. Subs is definitely something, though, that's going to get you extra wins in division rivals. Having a good tactic, having multiple tactics that you're willing to switch to. One thing that I quite like this year, I need to actually set up multiple tactics for this team. I've been using this tactic. But one thing I genuinely do think this year is that you can literally change your current tactic to be defending or attacking just in game by pressing right, and it's going to make quite a good adjustment. When it goes more defending, it works pretty well. When it goes more attacking, it works pretty well. I think the games are not as fluid and flexible in terms of changing tactics formation this year. That is pretty frustrating. A general piece of advice when it just comes to team: building good, solid, better teams is going to make a big difference. Sure, it's always going to be an important part. It's probably the most important part of all of it too. That's just the way this game plays. But playing your champs, playing your squad battles, these other modes, these are going to genuinely make a big difference when it comes to getting your team up. So whilst I think Rivals is good, and a lot of people compare and want to get to the higher divisions, don't be stupid. Don't force yourself to play so much Rivals to the point that you're burning out. Play the other modes. Squad battles is a lot more chill in general. I think that's just my view on it. Rivals, don't see it as the be all and end all. The other thing I'd say is 45 points. If you're working, you don't have the time to get it every week. Whilst that would be a shame because the rewards are pretty good, don't ruin the game and end up hating the game if you can't do it one week. 45 points is a lot, and what will end up happening to people in terms of climbing up division rivals is you're going to really start to struggle because you're going to start to burn out, play too many games, and get a lot of losses. Rivals is probably the sweatiest mode on FC 25. Ultimately, the matchmaking should get to the point where you're playing people at a similar level to you're not going. Says find out why Champions feels hard this year. Interesting. You are not going to get. You should get to the point where you shouldn't be winning more than 50% of your matches. Rivals is tough. It's the mode where most people probably end up getting burnt out, feeling stressed. So try take it. Only play a few games at a time when you feel like you can play at your best. That's going to help you get the most out of it. I would say setting yourself goals is something. So for me, my goal by the end of this week is to get to Div 1. I genuinely think if I'd have just played non-stop sweat, not tried some of the other modes out, I'd at least be Div 1 right now and probably be pretty close to the Elite Division. Am I that bothered when the rewards are not massively better? Sure, they are better. Maybe 20, 30k more I'd make. No, I'm not. What I've said to myself this year, even as someone who makes content on the game and wants to be as good as I can, I'm an ex-pro player at the game. I'm competitive. I like winning. I'm not going to ruin the game for myself this year. I'm going to try not to and burn myself out by playing it too much in sweaty modes and end up hating it. I find the game frustrating at the best of times. Rivals is probably the mode where most people abuse stuff. One thing that I would say is whether or not you want to abuse some of the more broken stuff from the game, so like kickoff glitch, speed boost, the Travellas, all these different things, have your opinion on, that's fair enough. What I would say is pretty important is that you end up making sure that you know how to defend these. Watch gameplay videos where I talk about these. Watch the videos where I talk about things that you can abuse on the game. Because I'll teach you how to defend against them as well. I'm not just telling you how to do them, I'm also teaching you how to stop them. Because a lot of people don't like using them, but you need to know about them. If you don't, once you get to the high division of the rivals where people are using them every single game, you're really going to struggle. So that is a pretty important side note, in my opinion. Having a team you feel good with, playing with the same consistent formation's a big deal. So many people lose one or two games, sell the team, they end up getting a worse team over time because they keep losing coins, they change tactic, they don't get familiar with it. No tactic's perfect. No formation is perfect. You are never going to get to the point where you just are perfect on this game and know everything about the game. No formation or tactic is going to be perfect in every single way. But get used to one that suits how you want to play, suits your team, especially this year you can get the good player roles in. It's going to make a big difference and help your FC 25 rivals grind. If there's any questions about this, please do let me know. Hopefully this video has helped you out. Not as much gameplay related stuff in this one because I think rivals grind, while of course there is a lot of mental to it, there's a lot that is gameplay is important. There's a lot of mental to it. There's a lot of ways that you can do that, and I'll do a lot of gameplay videos that are going to help you all out as well. Appreciate you all. Keep it spicy. I do hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.